Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a podcast and videocast from univrm.com. Today is a current event news article titled Doublespeak, Hypocrisy and Propaganda, Chilling Facts, Part 4. This is Part 4 of 4 on this series in current event news of internet spying by governments and companies. Even the United Kingdom was jumping on board, tightening their network's restrictions to the point or ordering ISPs to build a censorship infrastructure that blocks access to pornography, forcing users to go through another step to opt out or opt in for adult content and identify themselves as opposed to simply declaring they're old enough under the law. The United Nations is also considering a new Internet Governance Forum made up of member states only, excluding representatives from civil society and private industry, and vital discussions on how to police the global internet. The first round of French copyright enforcement began in late September and was said to have started scooping up 10,000 internet protocol addresses per day with the aim of detecting over 150,000 copyright violations per day as the efforts progressed. Remember how EMI sued the Irish government for failing to pass a SOPA-like law that will force ISPs to act as copyright cops and censor and block access to websites that the entertainment industry doesn't like? Well, apparently, the end result is that the Irish government has now signed the bill into law. This happened despite widespread protest in Ireland against the bill. The Irish Minister for Research and Innovation, Sean Sherlock, is insisting that the final version of the bill is much more limited than earlier proposals and that it took guidance from recent EU Court of Justice rulings that say ISPs shouldn't have to be proactive about blocking. That still means that copyright holders can petition to force ISPs to block all access to various websites, and as we've seen in other countries in Europe, you can bet that the major record labels and studios will be doing just that very soon, if they haven't already, though their track record on properly calling out infringement isn't very good. Sherlock, apparently realizing just how bad this looks to the citizenry, is trying to balance this announcement out by also saying that he's launching the next stage of the process to review copyright in Ireland with the goal of removing barriers to innovation. This is an ongoing process that we first wrote about last year when the country realized that existing copyright law was holding back innovation. Of course, the end result is the government appears to be trying to move into two different directions at once. On the one hand, it's catering to the legacy entertainment industry interests and hindering the internet as the platform that enables new business models, while at the same time paying lip service to how it has to increase such innovation. Here's a tip. The first thing toward increasing innovation in business models online is not putting misplaced liability on service providers, not setting up a censorship regime, and not removing incentives for the entertainment industry to actually embrace innovative business models. The content mafia, along with the American government, bullied many other countries into making similar laws by threatening them with a trading ban if they don't protect American copyrights. This happened in Canada and Spain and just recently in Ireland. The UK has ridiculous plans to log every step you make online anyway, and except for Sweden and Germany, all EU states forced their providers to save internet connection data for 6 months as well. If you don't want anyone to know what you're doing online, you should do whatever you can to protect your privacy. One way to do that is to use a virtual private network, VPN. If you use a VPN, all your internet traffic is tunneled through an encrypted connection so neither the authorities nor your internet provider can see what you're doing. No matter if you're using the file sharing apps, watching porn, or doing something political that your government might not agree with, your real IP will be hidden, and the only thing the world will get to see of you is a random IP of the VPN provider. The important part is to choose a VPN provider who does not keep any connection logs because otherwise the VPN provider could be forced to reveal your real IP. There are 2 VPN providers out there who don't store connection logs whatsoever. There is only 2 VPNs addressing this issue in a comprehensive manner. The first is www.privatpn.se/en/, and the second is a startup company called NoTrace. Please email your support for NoTrace to info@univrhcorp.com to help them get out in the marketplace. There are 2 little downsides. It's not free, it costs a few bucks per month, but then again, your privacy should be worth it, and due to American law, you can't use US-based companies. NoTrace, although it has not started yet, is the easiest alternative, and until they are on the scene, the above link to private VPN services is your best bet. Support NoTrace by swamping their email account. Setting up secure VPNs is not cheap, so the businessmen of the world see profit on the horizon, inspiring their greed to help protect all of us from the deluge of current event news to enslave us in any and all ways possible. At the beginning of this series of articles, we pointed out the release from the White House about restrictions on Iranians' access to the internet, blatant hypocritical propaganda. It should not come as a surprise in current event news that "do as I say and not as I do" means nothing more than political rhetoric. The truth is, the Iranians are bad copiers of existing mechanisms used by Western countries against their own citizens. This rationale used in historic periods of tyranny and current event news as mechanisms to control the population. Government, like a clumsy magician, hopes you look here and not there with verbal prestidigitation. As an example, please don't pay attention to 1/3 of the entire landmass of Greece for sale, because we are making the internet safer for XX and YY reasons. In part 1 of this series on current event news, please reread the letter sent to the Iranian citizens criticizing their government for internet censorship from President Barack Obama. Propaganda is an effective tool used against any foe, whether that is another government or citizens of a country. The chilling hypocrisy of this issue plainly exposed, and everyone should be worried, and everyone should be linking to a VPN. This is end of part 4 of 4. Copyright 2012, univrm.com, trademarked, all rights reserved. At univrm.com, we create original content with humor and satire on current event news, opinion articles, economy articles, science current events, and our science fiction book series titled Change Hope. As an advertisement, there is a donations accepted button on our website, www.univrm.com, and donations welcomed to keep us publishing in difficult economic times. As a second advertisement, please remember univrm.com, offering our science fiction book series, Change Hope, released as a series on a chapter and book-by-book basis, like the old Amazing Stories magazine. Change Hope available in all ebook formats and as an audiobook. You can purchase by going to www.univrm.com/downloads/. You can listen to this article via podcast at the iTunes Store by subscribing to univrm.com, or read it on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at the UNIVRM channel. This has been a podcast and videocast brought to you by univrm.com, and we look forward to bringing you more in future.